March 1st marks the 2-year anniversary of the plastic bag ban here in the state of New York. And as we stare down the barrel of a natural gas ban and a doubling or quadrupling of our aluminum deposit fee, this reporter's wondering, are we actually doing anything, or are we just being hoodwinked into higher taxes, higher fees, and more legislative processes? To better understand these issues, we reached out to two professionals in the space. Todd Myers, the Environmental Director for the Washington Policy Center, and Ryan Carson, the Environmental Director for the New York Public Interest Research Group.
The assumption is that only government can do these things. And I would argue, and this is what I argue in my book, Time to Think Small, that individuals can do a lot more for the environment if they are given the information and the power to do it. And that's what we're seeing work more effectively for the environment.
I would say that it has overall been a success. I think that we're starting to see that kind of behavior is starting to change across the state of New York. People are getting more used to bringing types of reusable bags with them. And I think that that's really, one of the major ways that, individuals can kind of have an impact in terms of fighting climate change.
The intended outcome is obvious: to reduce plastic waste in the state of New York. However, a quick walk through the grocery store reveals anything but a reduction in plastic.
You go into, say your local supermarket, your Walmart, and you just see like a banana that's wrapped in single-use plastic, right? And I mean, this to me is kind of infuriating. You already have the banana that's already wrapped up.
I think a lot of times people go out, sort of on Earth Day, and they march, and then they try to get politicians to do things, or they write legislation because they feel powerless, right? They feel the only way to do these things is to get politicians to do them. When in fact, what we're seeing is that there are all sorts of tools, all sorts of opportunities for innovation.
In addition to the plastic bag ban, the state imposes mandatory deposits on many bottles and cans. And now the legislature is considering doubling the deposit from a nickel to a dime or more.
The 10-cent can charge on aluminum cans, right? That may be expensive, but it at least gives you a choice, right? You can say, yes, it's worth it. No, it's not worth it.
For the bottle bill, for example, that's talking about doing major waste diversion, the equivalent of, taking 331,000 tons of CO2 out of the atmosphere just from doing that.
Another initiative in New York is to phase out the use of natural gas appliances by prohibiting them in new construction. This is part of Governor Hochul's plan to cut greenhouse emissions by 85% by the year 2050.
There's a desire to shift off of natural gas and other fossil fuels onto electricity to reduce CO2 emissions. The problem with these sorts of approaches is that they have very high costs but very low environmental benefits.
When we're talking about, natural gas in particular, this is something that is very hazardous to human health. And it's also something that is really impacting climate change, with kind of the, more culture war stuff that I'm seeing around, gas stoves and stuff like that. It makes me a little bit worried about what it would be like if we were trying to ban lead paint now.
So we just told you what the situation is now. And the question becomes, where do we go from here? Do we need more fees, more taxes, and more legislation? Or can we be the responsible owners of our own life and make small changes to help everybody? That's my hope. Stay classy, Otsego County.